Tonight on the news at 10, a former Crimson Tide football star was arrested today on assault charges. We'll tell you what put Orlando McClain behind bars, and we'll have these stories.
After nearly 9 months, police believe they have found the Spider-Man robber that robbed businesses such as the Alabama Credit Union. I'm Sarah Chavnik, and I'll have the full story coming up on WVUA News.
As the globe recognizes World AIDS Day, one organization continues their education of the disease here in West Alabama. I'm Victoria Sheehan, and coming up, I'll have the story.
High school football fans pouring to Tuscaloosa for the Super 6 State Championship. I'm Brittany Roscoe, and I have that story coming up on WVUA News.
And coming up in home team weather, getting cold out there tonight on this Thursday night. 28 degrees in Haleyville. How low is the temperature going to get tonight? Your forecast is coming up. The news at 10 o'clock starts right now.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Hi, I'm John Huddleston. Thanks for joining us this evening. Former Crimson Tide football star Orlando McClain was arrested today after allegedly shooting a gun near a man's head. This is the second time police say McClain has been present when shots were fired in Decatur. Only this time, one man is accusing the star football player of pulling the trigger. Reporter David Wood of station WHNT has more in tonight's top story.
Police say a bloodied Christian Tard Tapscott drove himself to Decatur General ER after fighting with Orlando McClain and Gerardius Willingham. Tapscott says McClain held a pistol near his face and fired.
Rohit got the gun and told me to put the knife down and shot it in my face. I was just standing there and he just came up to me and shot the gun by my face.
Gerardius Willingham alludes to the altercation in a Twitter post with tweets reading, "Just whooped one, aka Tard," and "Shaking my head, I'm always fighting." Erica Tapscott says she spoke to her son's childhood friend McClain on the phone not long after the fight.
He told me he didn't shoot at my child.
But he didn't deny shooting?
No.
Police say in most misdemeanor offenses they can't make arrests unless offenses occur in their presence, but Tapscott provided information Thursday that assisted investigators in obtaining personal warrants for McClain and Willingham.
I want justice. I don't care who he is.
And Orlando McClain bonded out after putting up $2,000 in bond. Gerardius Willingham has been charged with assault in the third degree. Tuscaloosa police believe a man dressed like a superhero and then robbed two separate businesses is behind bars tonight. WVUA's Sarah Chavnik has more on the apprehension of the man that police call the Spider-Man robber.
Spider-Man has finally been caught in his own web of lies. 17-year-old Anthony Lamar Jones of Tuscaloosa was arrested Wednesday after police linked him to two in a string of armed robberies that occurred 9 months ago.
He was charged with 2 counts of robbery in the first degree with a $60,000 bond for each count, for a total of $120,000 bond.
On March 17th, a man wearing a Spider-Man mask walked into the Alabama Credit Union and spun a web of deceit, but leaving behind a trail of evidence.
After the second robbery, during that investigation, we recovered some of the clothes, the masks, some gloves, and some other property that was used in those 2 robberies. We took all of the gloves and all of the masks and sent them off along with DNA swabs from all 3 suspects.
Police believe Jones is connected to the other robberies that occurred around that time, in which the suspect is also wearing a Spider-Man mask. However, they are still trying to link evidence to convict him. Police obtained surveillance footage from Waffle House and Alabama Credit Union, the 2 robberies in which Jones has been charged. Alabama Credit Union President Steve Swafford says he is glad to see Spider-Man has been obtained.
Clearly, we're delighted that the individuals that were behind this crime are now behind bars. And as far as Alabama Credit Union is concerned, in the number of situations like this that have occurred in Tuscaloosa, our authorities have a perfect record, and that every one of those individuals has wound up behind bars.
Swafford says while he is glad Jones is going to face trial, nothing can make up for the trauma his staff endured. In Tuscaloosa County, Sarah Chavnik, WVUA News.
Sarah, thank you very much. If convicted, Jones could be looking at 20 years to life in prison. The 17-year-old will be charged as an adult. Confusion around the state's new immigration law is prompting officials to give training about the law to all sworn officers. Alabama's head of police training, Alan Benefield, says a state commission will require 4 hours of training on the law because of its complexity and continuing confusion. Some officials have said the law's complicated provisions were hard to understand. In court rulings, blocking sections made it tougher for officers to interpret. On the election trail tonight, presidential hopeful Herman Cain says his wife had no knowledge of his friendship with Ginger White. She is the woman now claiming that the two had a 13-year affair and that Cain was providing her money. Cain has since denied a sexual relationship and says that he and White were only friends. However, in an interview today, the presidential candidate did admit to helping White pay her month-to-month bills and expenses without telling his wife.
It may appear now that why didn't I tell her about this when it was going on? You're absolutely right. But in retrospect, retrospect, doesn't necessarily change what we're dealing with now.
But your wife knew that you two were friends anyway.
She did not know we were friends.
Okay.
Okay.
Until she came out.
Until she came out with this story. Okay.
Cain has said he'll decide in the next few days whether to abandon his White House bid, but he first wants to speak with his wife face-to-face. He says that meeting will happen tomorrow. Time now to get a first look at Alabama's home team forecast. For that, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Richard, temperatures continuing to fall out there tonight.
Yeah, John, no doubt about it. Good Thursday night to you, by the way. Cold out there at Haleyville, 28 degrees now. Tuscaloosa, 35 degrees. Birmingham, one of the warmer spots. We're all cold, though. 37 degrees, Birmingham, Calera at 35. And early tomorrow morning, Friday morning, that bus stop forecast, cold is the word. 26 degrees early tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. A full day of sunshine expected. A nice warming trend takes over by the forecast. We've got your full details, plus a weekend forecast coming up in Maine weather. Stay with us.
All right, Richard, thank you very much. Well, it is definitely feeling like football weather out there tonight. Behind me, you can see Bryant-Denny Stadium, where day one of the Super 6 State Football Championships has just wrapped up for the night. WVUA's Brittany Roscoe was there when the action began this morning, and she has more.
Although there are no more Crimson Tide home football games this season, thousands of football fans waited eagerly to pour into Bryant-Denny Stadium to begin the first game of the Super 6 State High School Football Championships.
We are the Hamlin Tigers from Roanoke, Alabama, and we are ready to take home the ring.
Well, yes, we're going to win. That's my prediction.
The 3A Hamlin Tigers and the Madison Academy Mustangs are both excited to grace the field of Bryant-Denny. Neither team has ever made it to the Super 6.
I mean, what this means for us and our school, I mean, it's just really awesome to be here. Because, I mean, we've never made it to state before. We've never been this far before. We never made it past, like, the third round in the finals.
Fans drove over 2 hours to cheer on both teams, and Hanley High Principal Gregory Foster says this couldn't be possible without the support from the community.
We have a very supportive community. I'm very excited that everybody showed up, and hopefully we can win the state championship and bring it back.
We go to every game. We don't care how cold it is, whatever. We are there for our boys. Absolutely. Oh, yes. We don't let them down.
The game between Hanley High and Madison Academy was a fight until the finish, but in the end, Hanley High took home the victory.
Oh, it's so very sentimental to me. My nephew, he's a senior, and my dad passed away, and it just means so much to him to win this. He's not here, and it just means so much to us for them to win. He's played fought for so long for this, and this year they won, and it just means so much to us.
In Tuscaloosa, Brittany Roscoe, WVUA News.